Hey everyone, I'm Cara Falco, and this week in the Cucina we are making a pumpkin chicken soup with okra, and we have a special guest. This is Karen O'Sullivan with Appetites for Life, and you are a nutrition coach, right?
That's correct.
And you brought us this wonderful recipe. Tell us a little bit about what we're making today.
Well, we're making a pumpkin chicken okra soup, and this soup is full of healthy ingredients that are perfect for this time of year. It's bringing together the end produce from the summer, like peppers and okra, and some of those fall flavors and spices that we love, like pumpkin and cumin and curry.
She brought in all this stuff. It sounds delicious. We are going to get started on this soup.
All right.
All right, so we're starting our soup. We got a little olive oil in the pan.
Right.
And chicken breast. How much do we have there?
2 chicken breasts here.
Okay.
And we just want to heat up the oil and then drop them in the pan so that they brown.
Okay.
All right, and when you get it in the pan, be sure to give your chicken a little bit of salt just to season it a little bit. Add some flavor. And we're gonna just let that brown for about six minutes or so. We're gonna turn that over and let the other side brown a little bit, and then we're gonna remove that from the pan. Okay, and then we're gonna just give this a flip over. We got nice brown edges on the chicken here. So while I'm taking care of the chicken over here, Cara, do you mind mincing up that garlic?
Yeah, we'll get on this.
So now we're just gonna take the chicken out, and we're gonna just let it rest, put it aside here. We'll get back to that in a few minutes. While we have all this great sizzle going on, we're gonna add in the onions and the garlic.
All right,
that in.
grab these. I'm gonna grab a wooden spoon over here.
This is just 1 medium chopped onion.
Okay.
And we have about 3 cloves of garlic.
Okay.
Add that in. And you're gonna keep stirring that. Make sure that you don't burn the garlic. Nothing worse than burnt garlic taste.
This is correct.
All right, that's looking good. So we're gonna add in 1 red bell pepper and 1 green pepper.
Okay.
And stir that up. And this is where the summer portion of the soup comes in.
Right, those last few peppers.
A lot of peppers still at the farmer's market and in your grocery stores, so we're adding that color and a lot of vitamin C. Now we're gonna add our spices. We're gonna add about a teaspoon of cumin, ground cumin.
Okay, delicious.
Okay, and we're adding a tablespoon of sweet curry pepper. You can add more or less however you want this. I'm a little generous with the curry powder.
It's delicious, and I know that people get nervous when it comes to curry powder because they're terrified that their kitchen's gonna smell like it for days, but it really doesn't do that, and it doesn't have a weird taste, and it's a great earthy spice.
Absolutely, and it goes so well with pumpkin. All right, and then we're just gonna add a teaspoon of ground oregano.
Okay.
You can use basil if you don't like the taste of oregano, or marjoram.
Okay.
However you like to, oregano can be very strong for some people.
Right, yeah,
So-
I'm a little sensitive to it, but like I always tell you guys, cooking is whatever you want to eat because it's your food, so that's why you get to make your substitutions.
Recipes are guidelines, so use them and adapt to how your family and you like your food.
Yeah.
And then I'm just gonna add a little bit of salt and a little bit of pepper and season that properly. Okay. So while those are cooking, we're just gonna chop up our chicken real quickly, and we're gonna throw that back into the pan.
Okay.
So now we're gonna add our chopped chicken in. If you notice, the chicken inside is still raw. That's good, because then it won't overcook. We just wanted to brown the outside. I'm gonna stir that around so that all the spices get onto that chicken. And I like adding the spices first when you're doing this first saute part, because then all those spices really adhere to the ingredients and they start to cook out a little bit too. So the next thing we're gonna do is add my secret ingredient, which is actually ginger ale.
I am surprised.
You want to deglaze the pan, which you usually use wine or chicken broth, but the ginger ale gives you that nice, rich, gingery flavor that is perfect for fall.
I love it.
So what I want to do is to make a hole a little bit in the middle so that we can pour some of that ginger ale in. You're only using a small bit, just enough to get all
that nice brown bits off the bottom of the pan.
That's where the flavor is.
So then what I'm kind of doing with the spoon is scraping the bottom of the pans with that liquid.
That's perfect. All those spices got to the bottom, and you want to pick up all that flavor. It's a good workout too, right?
Yeah, good workout, and prevents you from having to scrub too hard when you clean up.
Perfect. Clean up and process. All right, so the next thing we're gonna do is add in our liquids.
Okay.
Okay, the first thing is, I kind of consider the pumpkin a liquid because it's gonna turn.
It's gonna turn into it, yes.
We're gonna add in a can or a box of your pumpkin.
Okay.
And get that all in there. Oops. Okay, and our next ingredient is just a cup of water. Kind of dilute that a little bit. And then we're gonna add in 4 cups of chicken broth.
Okay.
Now if you wanna make this vegetarian, obviously you're not gonna use
Omit the chicken.
but you can use white beans.
Cannellini beans or something else.
Absolutely, and then you can add in vegetable broth.
Okay.
4 cups is basically an entire container of your chicken broth. And again, if you want the soup to be thicker, then maybe you might only want to add about 2 cups of chicken broth.
Right. Now, but if you're like me, we always have leftover soup, you said this will absorb a lot of that liquid if it sits overnight.
Absolutely.
So
We're also going to be putting some rice in there, and then it'll all
it's really going to suck it all up. All right.
Now everything's in there, so hard part's over.
Okay.
We're just going to cover this. We're going to bring it to a boil first, and then we're going to cover it and let it cook for about 10 minutes.
Okay. All right, soup's been simmering for a couple of minutes now. What's next?
Next we're gonna do is add in about a half a bag of frozen okra.
Frozen okra?
Yes.
Okay, and we have some fresh okra. What is an okra? Because this is not something that I typically cook with.
Okra is a vegetable a lot of people don't know a lot about unless they grew up in the South or they had parents who were from the South.
Right.
It's kind of, taste-wise, I think it's a mix between like a green bean and a zucchini.
Okay.
And like I said, very popular in the South, but great use in stews and gumbos. Actually, I think the word gumbo is synonymous with okra. And what I love about it is that it's very high in vitamin C and vitamin A. It's a great Indian summer vegetable.
Okay.
Closing out summer, moving into fall. And it is very healing to your intestines and to your gut.
You were talking about why, and this is why maybe some people are a little bit afraid to use it. It kind of has a sliminess to it.
It does. When it cooks, it emits some sort of slime factor.
Okay. We're trying to break these open. There we go. Here.
Oh, there we go. And lots of seeds in here, and that membrane and those seeds emit this sort of slime factor, which can be very off-putting to people.
Okay.
And actually very scary when you're cooking it for the first time. So one of the reasons I like to use the frozen is you're not dealing with the cutting and all of that, and it's just so easy to keep into your freezer. But it's that slime factor, Cara, that actually helps heal your gut. It helps to coat the linings of your intestines, and actually helps relieve constipation and IBS.
Imagine that.
It is a magical food.
All right, Karen just tasted it. We need a little salt and pepper still, right?
You want to season at the end? And if you're ever uncertain about how much to add, just taste it as you go along.
Right.
Perfect. We'll just stir that in. Look at that. If it tastes as good as it smells, I am so excited.
Okay, gonna get this into bowls. All right, we gotta dig in here, have a little lunch. Karen, tell folks where they can find you, what you can do for them.
Well, you can take a look at my website at www.appetitesforlife.com. And there you can read my story, you can read all about the services I have on coaching. And you like it?
There's good stuff.
Awesome.
Very good stuff.
And you can find this recipe. I'll put it up on my blog on appetitesforlife.com, but you can also find it in my Soups by the Season ebook.
Oh, very nice.
I just released a couple months ago, and it has lots of different soups that are arranged seasonally.
Very cool.
All the different flavors you can take advantage of, and this recipe's in there.
Excellent. And one more time, website, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, any of that?
I have Twitter and I also have Facebook.
Okay.
For Appetites for Life.
Very cool. And you'll see a beautiful shot of Karen with all sorts of healthy things for you. Karen, again, thank you so much for joining me in the Cucina this week. Thank you for sharing this recipe with us. And of course, you can get this recipe at caradefalco.com as well. And don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And if you like this recipe, be sure to subscribe on YouTube so you don't miss another one. That's it for this week in the Cucina. I'll see you guys next week.